Hey, so today I found out that Meghan Markle, the wonderful Meghan Markle that she wants to be every single day of her life, um, made a giant mistake. Okay? When she talked about race and skin color. And it sounded off, but now it's been learned per all the, world channels that it was Princess Anne who spoke about the offspring of Meghan and Harry and what kind of damage that Meghan's character could do to their child or children. And Princess Anne is said to have seen Meghan coming from a mile away. And it was during the time they were dating, not when the child was in utero. Meaning, if Meghan was pregnant, as she claims to be, and everyone says that, the birth certificate wasn't signed for 11 days, so that's actual proof of Meghan had a surrogate, which I don't know anything about that. I do know what the rumors are, and in my experience of the last 2 years of just watching, entertainment news all over the world, that 9 times out of 10 the gossip that comes out is true. The first thing that came out that was true in gossip was that Meghan made Kate cry. Now Meghan says she didn't make Kate cry, but it happened this way. Meghan was being very mean to Princess Charlotte, and she called her fat because her shoes were tight, and the little girl didn't want to wear those shoes. And her mom said, "You're not going to wear them without tights. You're going to wear tights." So then apparently the little girl Charlotte, Princess Charlotte, must have said to Meghan, "Oh, we're going to wear tights like we did it with my Aunt Pippa's wedding." And Meghan said, "No, I'm better than your Aunt Pippa, and you are not going to wear tights, and I make the rules here." And so the little girl was upset, and Kate left the fitting because she was just so appalled at how rude Meghan was to the little girl. And so she left the fitting completely for the day, and the next day she came back and she brought her flowers to apologize. And maybe Meghan started crying when Kate left because she felt that that she was being abandoned. People with abandonment issues, a lot of the times, because of the trauma that they've been through, they're not very forgiving when it comes to just to the overall sense of forgiveness. And she claims she forgave her, which I don't understand how she could have forgiven her. Unless she thinks that she's the victim here. It's her wedding and she gets to tell the little kid what to wear. Obviously, not wearing tights for a royal wedding is not something that was common or typical. So, that said, we get that there was a huge issue in this, situation with the wedding party. But it's just the overall lies that this woman completely creates again, over and over. She's got abandonment issues. Kate left the fitting, and she obviously was upset and started crying. I would have cried too if somebody had left my dress fittings. I would be like, why did she leave? So that's just one of the issues. But in the case of who said what and the skin tone, it wasn't even that. It was Princess Anne, and it wasn't about that. It was about her character. Princess Anne had talked about it in terms of what kind of children could these people raise with this particular attitude that they have, and how this kind of, behavior could affect their offspring. And so this is obviously a conversation that was had. It wasn't had with Harry, but he may obviously he misinterpreted what she said because it wasn't even in the correct context. He took it to mean that they were wondering, well, maybe because the kid, when the kid's going to be, how different is the child going to be? So that is hysterical because not only was Meghan not present during that particular conversation, but obviously Harry misconstrued the entire thing. And when he went back, Meghan probably, interrogated him, and he just blurted out what it was that he thought, that happened. But it was nothing like that. So, this manipulation that this woman has for her husband is obviously typical of Catholic schoolgirls. I mean, every Catholic schoolgirl is raised to, get married and have children. And, that's her prince. That's Meghan's prince. So she's obviously going to have children with him, whether they're from surrogates or not. The surrogacy problem, that's a whole other issue. When the person is pregnant, there are certain things of them that are expected by the royal family. And one of them is to stand outside of that window, that deck of that hospital and, present the child. And Meghan was adamant she didn't want to do that. And then there was the whole cause for concern because she claims she had a surrogate. But the surrogate didn't, keep tabs on her when she was obviously stricken with suicidal tendencies. I mean, I'm sure that somebody would have known that, especially the midwife. So that's another, mega storm that's brewing right now because apparently Meghan has decided that she's going to have a midwife for this baby's delivery. In all honest truth, it looks like, okay, from where I'm standing or sitting, obviously, that that Meghan doesn't know what to do right now. She is up literally shit creek because you waited 11 days to sign the child's birth certificate, Archie's. Why? I mean, 11 days? That's excessive. If they were in California or America and someone said, oh yeah, we took 11 days to send off the paperwork for the birth certificate. I mean, actually here in America, it's normal when you have a baby, you as a mother have to send for the birth certificate. You have to write a letter, send the money, and then you get it. So the point that the child's birth certificate blatantly says it was signed 11 days after the actual birth is suspect, okay? Did she have a surrogate? Why was it 11 days? She didn't let anybody see the child. None of the family was able to be present when the baby was born. I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but in America, when a child is born, the whole family comes, right? To see the baby. Apparently that wasn't allowed. So you have to kind of wonder, what is this woman? What is going on in her mind? Another thing that you don't do when you're suicidal, obviously, is, you don't go out there and tell people that you're suicidal, because if you do, then people are going to think that those tendencies don't ever go away. You've got to go to years and years and years, okay, of therapy to get rid of those tendencies. How do I know? Because I knew a girl that was suicidal, and it took her years, and she never got any kind of mental, accession. Any type of mental, she wasn't assessed, okay? And so, who in their right mind would not allow the British royal family to help her in those times of need, okay? Was she that just, absolutely traumatized by what? The British public? I mean, she ran a website called The Tig. How is she so traumatized by the British public, you know. Then she tells people that there's no there's no tabloids in America. Like, I live in Los Angeles, and every store that you go to has tabloids at the magazine rack, right at the checkout station. So, you know, she's a liar. I don't know why this woman feels the need to continuously bash the royal family, but this is what she's doing. And so, you know, I remember where I was when Diana died. When Lady Diana died, I was at work in the smoking area of a nightclub called the 2020. It had just reopened back up in Pasadena, and I was working there again. It was a bikini bar, full bar with women in bikinis, and there was a lot of them. You know, the place was owned by a guy named Mike Kay. He was a Jewish guy, a very super nice guy. Prior to that, the 2020 Club was located in Century City, and it was owned by the guy who owns Bally's in Las Vegas. And also his partner was Tommy Lasorda. So we're not going to sit here and pretend that, you know, Princess Diana wasn't a major figure in our lives growing up. I'm 50 years old, and yes, she was. You know, we followed everything. I remember in 1982, I was in 5th grade, and she got married. The wedding was during the night, so I wasn't able to watch it. But I can tell you, I was living or staying that summer at my aunt and uncle's house in Orange County. And so these are kind of the things, you know, not milestones, but like, you know, traumatic events that happened in my lifetime. Lady Diana's crash was one of those traumatic events, you know. Yes, I didn't know her, but yes, I knew of her. So we're interested. People are interested for that reason. We followed Diana's life, and we knew that Diana was in, you know, a dire need of leaving that whole, you know, royal family behind. We knew that because she was running around with Dodi Fayed. Dodi Fayed was famous because his father owns the biggest, it's like the biggest shop in Britain, okay? And so it's like a department store, but like the richest one. It's like, I don't know, Nordstrom's or something. And so, you know, the tabloids have always been out. The people have always bought tabloids. The tabloids have always been entertaining. They've always been fun to read. And, you know, we're allowed this, okay? That's not to say that we should be allowed anything. I mean, obviously we live in a free country, but at the end of the day, the people want to know what's going on with this woman and why is she being so weird, okay? Why is she being so tenacious about hounding the royal family and drilling them about nonsense? So, you know, the big reveal was, I watched this lady on YouTube. Her name is Lady Colin Campbell, and she was the one that revealed it because they asked someone from the royal family, said, can you possibly cover this story on your channel and let everybody know that Meghan and Harry got it wrong. They're so dumb. They tried to spin the culture as a racist thing, as racism. Culture and racism are not the same thing. People have different backgrounds, and because you have a different background than, you know, your husband to be, people are gonna want to know about your culture. And Meghan acted as if she was this wonderful, you know, American girl. And at the end of the day, we all know about Jerry Springer. I mean, everybody knows about Jerry Springer. And this girl's culture is Jerry Springer. So, of course, she's going to go out there and demand, you know, $90 million payouts, demand $100 million, to tell her story to Netflix, demand, X amount of money from Spotify and, whoever. It doesn't matter. What matters is she's a liar. She can't be trusted. And now her words, her own words that she's spewing out of her mouth, are coming back to haunt her. So that is very relevant to the fact that she, A, has lost her mind, and B, she's admitted it. So that was not a good look for her. Harry looks like an idiot, because if you watch the interview, you'll see that Harry laughs out loud before he says, "I'm not comfortable talking about that. I'll never reveal who said it." He was laughing. He laughed. He couldn't. Meghan wasn't even there, and yet she's the one that told Oprah, "Oh yeah, possibly his skin tone, how dark his skin would be, and potentially what that would look like." Nothing of the sort was even said. What was said was, "Wow, this chick is laying it on so thick that her she was walking around flailing her arms around." I mean, that's character. What kind of a person has to be all in the mix, like making hand gestures everywhere to be noticed? You're already an actress. What more do you need? You need more recognition than you're an actress? Yeah, they called her a showgirl, but she didn't tell us that, right? Yeah, they said they called her Harry's showgirl, but she never mentioned it, except for the part of the brown skin. Why? Because she hates being brown. She doesn't like being brown. And I say brown because she's not black. She's not black. She's a brown person like I am. So, it's hysterical that she would try to spin her culture as having been assessed as racism, or with racism, or through racism. It makes no absolute sense that she would, even say something like this to Oprah on national TV. She wasn't even there during the conversation. Even Harry said he wasn't comfortable talking about it. He probably didn't talk to her about it. And Meghan just took, she probably just took whatever little information she had and ran with it. So this is the issue that is playing out all over the airwaves right now. She looks like a dang idiot. And you know what they say about ducks? If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So mind your manners. No one's happy about this whole, Harry situation, trying to pretend like he's going to be this, coach for the depressed, because the guy can't even help his own wife. How's he going to help anybody if he can't even help his own wife because he's embarrassed? It was embarrassing for him. The idea, the audacity that they would go on a national interview, a worldwide interview, and say that she heard through Harry that the color of his skin was in question. It was nothing of the sort. Nobody said that. She completely misconstrued it. And then she went on national television and told the world about something that Harry didn't even have the balls to clarify. So what does that tell you? That they're liars, and they don't deserve to be on a platform, because once you lie, it's kind of like that little boy that cried sheep. You know what I mean? You cry sheep so many times that when the actual truth comes out, no one's going to believe you. That's why you're not supposed to lie. But anyway, be good to yourself. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes. And yeah, today was a good day. I did yoga. My hands are a little bit broken out. I had to put a shirt on because I started to cough a lot and sneeze a lot. But yeah, man, this girl is just a nightmare from hell to the royal family, and I feel sorry for her. Bye, guys.